Welcome everybody to step 3 of the process. In our last video, we made our bridges 3-dimensional, but we only put a little bit of support on it. Today, we are going to reinforce that 3-dimensional structure so that it can withstand those directional forces of it pushing down. So let's go ahead and get started. I want you to notice that I've got my bridge from step 2 still in the cardboard box. So what I want you to do is go ahead and pull that out of the box. So we're just going to pull that out ever so carefully. Okay, and notice that it kind of retains its shape. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn our box over. We're going to grab our wax paper from step 1. And just so that I have something that the glue can drip on, and I'm going to go ahead and set my bridge on top of that. Now what we're going to do is we are going to develop a diagonal structure that looks like this. I want you to notice I have a middle row just like this truss, and I'm going to put diagonals going both directions. I'm going to put toothpicks on top, and I'm going to put toothpicks on the bottom. That's going to go all the way down the length of the bridge. I don't want to put the top or the bottom on this bridge until I am done doing the diagonals all the way down. These diagonals are what make it strong because the diagonal creates a triangle. The triangle is the primary source of strength. So let me show you how to do that. All right, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is you have your toothpicks, and I find that it is best if you start with a nickel-sized puddle of glue, okay? What we're going to do is we are going to dip our glue into this puddle, and it's going to allow us to do the diagonals going across here. So please watch what I do. Notice I go ahead and take a swab of glue on the tip of my toothpick, okay? And then I'm going to send it diagonally down to the middle row and lay it across. And I'm going to do my best to keep it perpendicular to the structure. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of space these out. Notice I'm aiming for the bottom of this triangle because those junctions are points of connection, and you want to do your best to keep those nice and strong. So I'm going to go ahead and space these out all the way across. Okay, now that I have all of my toothpicks placed on the diagonal, you may have noticed that I was just gluing one side of the swab here on the lower side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bottle of glue, and I'm just going to put a little dab going over the top of each of these toothpicks. Now what you may have noticed is the top of those toothpicks kind of move around when I'm putting that glue on top. And so I'm going to take a toothpick because my fingers are just a little bit too big. And I'm going to make sure that these toothpicks are nice and aligned. And I'm kind of moving the glue to the bottom side of the toothpick. Okay, the reason for that is I want there to be glue binding the two pieces of toothpick, the one that's the horizontal and the one that's the diagonal, in between each other. The glue sitting on top isn't that strong. It's when the glue is underneath between the two pieces that make it strong. So I'm just moving those over so that they're nice and straight. And what we're gonna do is we're going to repeat this process for each side. I've got diagonals going from the middle to the top here, and then I'm gonna switch it around and do the other way. Okay, I'm doing my best to get a good shot for you guys. You might not have been able to tell what I was doing from the aerial view, so I thought I'd try out this view. So notice that I have my diagonals going from my center up to my upper left. Now I'm going to repeat this process, but I'm going to go in the opposite direction. And notice that I'm creating diagonals that also create triangles. And when we have a bridge structure like this, the strength is in the diagonal triangles, not just putting stuff on the horizontals. So I have a middle brace that makes this really easy. If you do not have a middle horizontal line, you could, many of you did create triangles, and you could actually put it inside the triangle. If you don't have that, then you could just put it on your bottom line and go up into a horizontal, or excuse me, a vertical line. You have to find a point that you can rest down below and then lay it on top. Now I'm gonna work all the way down towards me, creating these diagonals and triangles. All right, as you can see, I have completed both of my diagonals going both left and right, okay? Spacing is up to you. How much you space this, totally up to you. Your next step is going to be to place a horizontal across the top. This is going to be kind of the step that completes your diagonals, because you have fully completed the legs of the triangle. Okay, 2 diagonals and your horizontal across the top. You're gonna go through and you're gonna place toothpicks all the way across this deck. So here we go. Okay, I am going to go ahead and let this dry for a couple of hours. I might even leave it for a day just to make sure it's solid and not going to move on me. And then what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over tomorrow, and we're going to repeat that process. Diagonal, diagonal, put one on top. So we'll let it dry for a while. Until next time.